Hello, my name is Jay Harris. I am author, Jendai Harris. I go by Jay, but my books are called the Chubby Church book series 1 and 2. So it's in a series, books 1 and 2. I also have a secular version called Whole and Free Health. All right. So you can find me at thechubbychurch.com. We're going to talk today about chubbology. Chubbology. Chubbology is a made-up psychological reason of why we are scared to lose weight. Okay, why there's that fear and how it integrates with us in an emotional, psychological level. So my book, Chubby Church 1, really focuses on the psychological aspects of weight and eating issues. That's what No Diet book will cover. The other stuff, all right, some of the things we really need to heal from the inside out. And there are 7 chubbological triggers. So these are types of triggers that when we feel them, we can easily start eating more. So we'll get that grubology going because we don't feel safe in our souls. And your soul, you have to remember this, the body's a reflection of the soul. The body is a reflection of the soul. So when your soul has stuff in it that isn't healed, it may feel threats, and so it covers itself up like a blanket. You know, there's something called a security blanket. I have a warm blanket here. My dear friend Amber got me, and I use it all the time because it's electric, it heats up, and it's really warm. And as a kid, you know, I remember my grandma knitting for me a green and yellow gorgeous blankie, right? And it was like a security blanket. It kept you safe. Now, weight is the same way. It's a form of self-protection. And it's like nature's natural handgun, all right? Especially when you've had one of these triggers. And again, there's 8 triggers, so hang in there with me as we walk through them. So one of the first threats to our safety, our soul safety, which makes us again want to use weight to self-protect, is our own attractiveness, our own beauty, our handsomeness. We can get a lot of unwanted attention. All right. And if we don't know how to handle that attention, create platonic, healthy relationships, if we've had some issues with getting attention, such as, you know, assaults or other types of hard situations, rapes, etc. If we've had some areas that we'll talk about next, you know, those types of things are going to cause us some problems in wanting to express our fullness of beauty. Okay, so you're absolutely gorgeous. And weight, what it does is it kind of dampens that. It kind of hinders the truest of our self-expression and the most genuine form of it. And it starts to cloud it and hide, cause us to hide inside of our chubby suits. So unwanted attention is a trigger, and the threat is our attractiveness. The next one is unbridled sexual lust. Unbridled sexual lust. And my book goes a lot deeper in the chapter called Chubbology. Really fascinating to dig into. Lots of breakthroughs. I get emails from readers all the time on their breakthroughs from this particular chapter. And the threat is that sexual lust. Okay, sometimes we don't know what to do with it, especially as believers. You're trying not to be like overly sexual or fornicating or adultery or things of that nature, or too freaky, you know, possibly. But the key is like your sexual lust and your sexuality is a awesome, healthy, beautiful thing. And it can be nurtured in healthy ways, even as a single. But sometimes we've had past sexual promiscuity that we need to deal with. We've had past, again, sexual issues or assaults or relationships that were not okay and need to be fully healed from and dealt with. That's causing us forms of self-protection. The next one is emotional intimacy. So threat number 3 is emotional intimacy. We don't like being seen. You know, I talk about a couple who the husband kept making all these dishes and causing the couple to gain a lot of weight. And she's like, but he was scared. He had a lot of fears, right? So it's like, let's just eat away the fears. And no, we have to be seen. We have to be vulnerable and allowing that vulnerability to come through and not hiding it. Your vulnerability is powerful. It's something that helps you know you don't have to be any different to be worthy. So when you really get secure in yourself and who you are, you can be vulnerable. You can share, you know, this hurt me, or I feel, really ugly right now, right? Whatever that may be. And it can be okay. So allowing for more of your heart and you to be seen can feel like, oh my gosh, especially if in childhood that was not okay. Some of the most vulnerable moments I had were met with condemnation, disdain, rejection, abandonment, right? In those vulnerable moments. So you have to overcome these things and get healing. I'm also a therapist. I'm licensed in Colorado, but I do a lot of coaching. I'm going to have a lot more YouTubes for you coming up real soon, but I'm getting started. I'm proud of myself. All right. Threat number 4 is criticism. So if you are used to rejection, that fear and spirit of rejection is really real as well. And criticism can make us feel weird. And we get a lot of people's comments about our bodies, don't we? Like, oh, you look good, or you don't, or you gain weight, or you should get skinny, or you're too skinny. It's like you can never please people when it comes to that. And not only that, criticism as far as your body, but also criticisms just in general can feel really hard and make you feel unsafe. So if you're in a critical environment, you're not going to want to put your best self out there. You're going to want to hide with the weight. Okay. So we have to learn how to overcome the spirit of rejection, this fear of rejection, and allow ourselves to just be who we are in our freedom. Okay. Number 5, our self-concept we're scared of a loss of self-concept. So if I'm used to being Big Jim, and Big Jim got the ladies, and Big Jim was like, had a lot of physical strength and felt bigger because he was bigger back in college. And now it's like Big Jim needs to, trim down because he's facing chronic health issues. We have self-concepts, even being sometimes a Black church mother, it's like, oh, that bigness can give you a sense of pride and, a self-concept in you. So just looking at how does your weight affect who you see yourself as or who you are. It's like I used to literally have in my head, well, a good mom must be bigger. They have the big bosom and everything. So to get skinny or to lose weight, thin out, get healthy. Our goal is actually not being skinny. It's really being healthy. It's not about being a size 2 here, right? It's really about getting that freedom and wholeness in Christ through this area. So, but I had that in my head, my self-concept, like, oh, okay, I can't, because then I wouldn't be as nurturing feeling, right? You want a big bosom to chill out with, not little old me, right? So thinking about your self-concept, how does your weight affect that? How do you see yourself? And that how we see ourselves absolutely could be a threat from releasing it and getting healthier and happier. All right, number 6 is other people's insecurities. Oh my goodness, right? Their fears. I have unfortunately a jealous husband, and very, very you're thinking you're looking good, but then the jealousy comes out, you get abandoned and rejected, and you're just like, well, that's not cool, right? I can't, be myself. So their insecurities sometimes can come on you, and you got to pack them up, return them to sender, because other people can get really insecure about your beauty, about your advancement, and people think like one lady, she was struggling with her family, was not accepting her as she was releasing weight and getting healthier in a healthy way. But the family's like, come on, eat more mac and cheese, eat more fried chicken. And she's like, I'm not trying to do that. But she was almost rejected from the family. And we're scared of that. This is a real issue. If it's real, comment below. If any of these triggers resonate with you, I want you to comment below on how these can affect. Now, whether you have weight or not, they can affect, but we're conversating about how we use weight to self-protect chubbology issues. All right, number 7 is deep life disappointments. Oh my goodness, I just faced one of the biggest blows of my life. I will do a whole nother video on that, of where I felt like that Marvel kind of scene where I was punched in the chest, sat on my butt, and flew on my butt across the city. Like that's how punched and discouraged I have felt. And yes, I probably had more mango slices than I should have. Okay. I tried mango slices, a healthy alternative to cookies. But nonetheless, those deep life disappointments, those dealing with emotional pain. For years, one of the stories I tell in my book is how I had a binge one day. I was triggered in the present, but it was really something about my past that triggered me. And it was when my dad passed away, and I never got to grieve that I didn't know him. I didn't really get to connect with him like I would have loved to, because he died when I was 12 years old. And so I was eating over this deep grief that was in there, that void. And you have to deal with this stuff, and I can help you with it. I'm going to post a lot of stuff because I have lots to share on how to heal and grow. So please follow, like, subscribe, comment, all that helps to grow the channel. And I'd appreciate that to get some stuff out there. So attractiveness, sexual lust, emotional intimacy, criticism, self-concept, other people's insecurities, deep life disappointments. If you want to get to the heart of your chubbology, I want you to order the Chubby Church books. And there's 2 books. Start with 1, start with 2, whatever. They're on Audible, but they really help you to snuggle up together and get some counsel, support, wisdom, and knowledge to defeat these types of strongholds so you can be seen.